Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another X Space hosted by Powerpool. Can you all hear me?
Yep, we can hear you well.
Oh, great. Okay, well, we usually start these things off with me rambling a little bit to give everyone else a chance to join. I see we already have a lot of people on the session. This is part of a regular series now of Powerpool joint AMAs together with developers who are building on top of the PowerAgent Automation Network as a backbone, if you like, offering automation services of all kinds. We are live, as most of you know, on Gnosis Chain and also pretty much live now on Ethereum mainnet. And we will continue to go live on a variety of EVM chains as demand and developers come on board. Today we have Daoism, and we'll let Daoism tell you more about themselves. And
it's Daoism Systems.
Yeah, exactly. There's actually two organizations, and we'll perhaps you could start by explaining to everybody the two organizations that are involved.
Yeah, totally. So, hello everyone. My name is Arseny. I'm a co-founder of Daoism Systems. Daoism Systems is a Web3 venture studio that is focusing on building new breakthrough DAOs. And in this sense, Supreme DAO is a project of Daoism Systems, and the main project at the moment, which is a DeFi DAO that is aiming to create new breakthrough DeFi strategies that are going to benefit our DAO members.
That sounds good. Why don't I, to set up the session, why don't I introduce Vasily, who's the Powerpool Director of Research. Vasily's been leading the charge in all of our conference hackathons and also is sort of our main contact point for developers who are looking to understand the PowerAgent value proposition, which is a big one, and to get them started, if you like. Also introducing our grant program. We offer grants to developers who are focusing on developing key functionality to expand the PowerAgent system. So Vasily, are you with us?
Yep. Nice to meet you, Gordon. Nice to meet you, Arseny. So let's get started. So yeah, can I start with a short introduction about Powerpool, probably?
Please do.
Yeah. Thank you, Gordon. So yeah, hi everyone. So Powerpool is a decentralized automation network aiming to bring decentralized automation to DeFi. We are launched on Gnosis chain on Ethereum. Also, we are making the final test on Arbitrum. In addition to that, we have some testing environment in Sepolia testnet for all developers who want to make some tests without spending real money for gas costs. Yeah, so and we plan to expand soon to Polygon, Optimism, and Scroll. So this is our main focus so far. And next after that, it's also BNB chain, the Neon EVM to target the Solana ecosystem. And some other rollups are also, in plans of Powerpool deployment. So the main value proposition of Powerpool is that it is a decentralized automation network. So it means that hundreds of keepers, for example, on Gnosis chain, we have more than 100 of keepers at the moment working to execute your tasks. So you can set up a jobs. These jobs can be different ones. It can be simple cron style jobs, like execute something every delta tail, like every 12 hours or every 24 hours, for example. It is suitable for simple tasks like rewards claiming, some TVAP oracles calculation. Of course, it should be done much frequently. So, and some other stuff that can be easily automated through these periodic transactions. And for more advanced tasks, we offer the resolver type of job. So the resolver type of job is a job with different logic conditions inside. So for example, you can make a job that will buy Ethereum if Ethereum is below some target price, or sell Ethereum if Ethereum is above some target price. You can also build the liquidation protection. You can build the inside with reposition management algorithms, or literally everything you need, you can build through the resolver type of job. At this moment, it supports only on-chain triggers and on-chain data and conditions. So you can use oracles, you can use some custom TVAP oracles, or some other variables that are available on chain for the triggering executions. And the nearest future, the off-chain conditions also will be available. So it will expand the PowerAgent functionality a lot. And yeah, for this IMA, particularly the Daoism and SupremeDAO, they're building the amazing stuff using PowerAgent and resolver type of jobs, because the product that they're building is much more complicated than just periodic transactions execution. So yeah, I'm happy to introduce Daoism and SupremeDAO here on this IMA. And yeah, so let's get started regarding the particular product that they're building, what kind of automation they use, and yeah, etc. So, and Gordon, I think that we can start with the first question. I think it's most important ones is why the smart contract automation is crucial to successfully launching the Supreme DAO product. So why do you use automation?
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I mean that's what most of the developers in the audience want to hear is what led to this collaboration in the first place.
Yeah, totally. But before jumping into the question, I would also like to introduce iSolo, who's also a speaker. He's a co-founder at Daoism Systems, a co-founder of mine, and also working on Supreme DAO. So he's going to take some questions as well. But yeah, I can start with the first one. So why smart contract automation is crucial for the success of Supreme DAO. So yeah, we started talking about Supreme DAO with Powerpool team pretty early on. We had a vision of a new type of asset, the asset that is backed by automated strategies that are generating yield, and this yield is being represented in the price of this asset. So that's how we came to the idea to use PowerAgent, because if you build a dynamic strategy that is doing multiple things on chain, you need a way to trigger those actions, and especially it is important that it is a decentralized network that is doing so in order to preserve security of the overall system and make sure that there is no unwanted behavior happening. So yeah, we talked with PowerAgent team, and we came up with an idea to build a first strategy, which doesn't have this asset that I mentioned previously. The asset is called YAI, and it's more of a future vision for Supreme DAO. Right now, we are focusing on building a strategy that will leverage users' WST ETH to participate in high yield farms on Aura, and will automatically manage this leveraged position through swapping yield and maintaining the leveraging of the user, as well as auto compounding. And it's all very time sensitive, because for example, by leveraging I mean opening a CDP on Curve on CRV-USD, and CRV-USD has soft liquidation mechanisms where your CDP could be partially liquidated. And in this sense, it's very important to focus on to work with efficient technologies such as PowerAgent that could be faster than liquidation of CRV-USD. So then we can prevent users losing their funds.
Okay, thank you. I think at this point, Vasily, you should just continue to ask Daoism about the PowerAgent value proposition, how they saw the value proposition of PowerAgent versus, developing their own keeper bot or other options.
Yep. So yeah, this was my next question. So yeah, the question is, if you consider, so if you want to build some automation, the first idea that came, to the majority of people is, okay, I will launch my own RPC for the network I am using. For example, for Ethereum, I will launch my, simple script that will use some Ethereum wallet to trigger all the transactions. And this route looks logical and it's quite easy to run it. Of course, if you have some, some skills in writing scripts and not running, of course. Yeah, but the question is, from the developer's point of view, so for you, why the network of keepers, so like professional network of signers, is better in comparison with the centralized bots running? So yeah, what do you think? And yeah, so what's main issues in both sides, for example, for onboarding these, for launching this really fast? So yeah, what do you think about the centralized bots we see the automation networks?
Yeah, so we really value, thanks a lot for the question. In Daoism Systems, we really value key set of cypherpunk ethos, and that's decentralization and interoperability. Running your own script is against this ethos because it gives you ultimate power of on which transactions would you want to execute and which you want. And that would also be against the DAO ethos, because then you would just be yet another centralized entity pretending that you're building a decentralized system. And using PowerAgent and the decentralized keepers network actually brings the aspect of decentralization and interoperability. I think the beauty of Web3 is that you can take other people's stuff and build something with them, and become this almost like a mycelium network of projects that are working together in synchronicity. So yeah, it was really cool to learn more about PowerAgent and build something with it. And we are definitely looking forward to keep building with you guys.
Great. Obviously, there's a long list of reasons why PowerAgent is a value add, but the one you mentioned, which is to make your own development credibly neutral, is an important one. And I think that people in DeFi haven't given enough emphasis to rooting out those cases where existing protocols are using their own internal, home-rolled keeper bots, and they aren't credibly neutral, and they are in fact single points of failure. I think that people will start calling this stuff out. It just takes time for communities to get on top of where the risks really are. We just had a major introduction to slashing risk for everybody who's staking because of a bug in Go. And, it just takes one little incident like that to alert everybody to the fact that, hey, there is automation going on. I didn't even know it. And in fact, it's not credibly neutral, and it has single points of failure. All these lessons are laid out in the roadmap going forward. And we try to use sessions like this to raise awareness, but, it just takes a lot of time. That said, what's the current status of your work? Where have you managed to succeed, and what are you still working on?
Yeah, so currently we are finishing our smart contracts. We are maybe I explained a little bit how the system works, but maybe I can go through it a little bit one more time. So we are building a system that is incorporating CRV USD and Aura, and also decentralized exchange to execute this particular strategy of maximizing users' WST holdings through leveraging and auto compounding. So there is quite a bit of smart contract work here, which we are currently focusing on and making sure that everything is secure and well tested, because we don't want users to lose their funds. And we are currently implementing automation on with PowerAgent. So then the whole system could be ready in the next month.
Okay, well, I'm glad to hear that it's coming along. What have been the biggest difficulties you've had in incorporating PowerAgent?
Well, the process was pretty smooth so far. We have great communication channel open with Powerpool team. In case any questions arise, we get the answers pretty fast. So far it was a smooth ride.
Well, that's good to hear. I hope others will be encouraged as well. As I understand it, the one of the key modules that you're working on is the liquidation protection. Have we actually started to test the liquidation protection features?
No, not yet. We are still building the functionality in the smart contracts, but the logic will pretty much look like that. There is a health parameter of the CDP, which is open, and then PowerAgent would be query the health of the CDP, and in case if it's fallen below 30%. Then yield is automatically being used to close a fraction of this CDP. So then the health could get higher. And in case the health is at 30% or above that, then the agent will be able to leverage more, to use the yield in order to buy more BST with this CDP.
Okay, and what about issues like latency and response times or gas spikes and things like that?
Yeah, it definitely an important part of success of Supreme DAO. So we are not live yet, even in the test mode. So it's hard to answer this question right now. I think that in the future, it's systems like that would make sense to be launched on a rollup rather than on the mainnet like we do it right now. But still, at the moment, the most liquidity is on the mainnet, so we've decided to go with this one. But next strategies that we are going to release, we are most probably going to release on a rollup, such as Arbitrum.
Well, PowerAgent obviously is going to Arbitrum as well. There's a lot of ETH on Arbitrum, which is currently quite yield starved. So perhaps we can target some of that ETH that sits on Arbitrum.
Definitely.
Yeah, could I ask about the testing? So when you will finally develop the stuff that you need and all the automation jobs, I think that you need to make some tests for the contracts and also the tests in on-chain environment. So it means that. So what do you plan? You plan to launch some test version of of the product in Arbitrum, for example, or use some Gnosis or Sepolia. So what is your vision for the testing process? Of course, you will make all the standard tests for the contracts as usual, right? But above that, so besides that, what do you plan to do for testing?
Yes. So usually in Daoism Systems, we before launching the full product on the mainnet, we launch it on the testnet. But the thing is that currently there is no CRV-USD and Aura and Balancer all together on one testnet at the same time. So most probably we are going to test in prod after we go through the security audits. We would launch in the stealth mode on the mainnet, and go through the testing phase on the mainnet until we are ready to go public and open our front end and the entire thing to the wider community.
Okay, maybe you have some questions you'd like to ask us?
Yeah, definitely. So how does the PowerAgent network ensure that crucial tasks such as liquidation protection are executed correctly and on time?
Yep, the main the main protection for job owners. So the Supreme DAO will be the job owner for their product, right? So, and it means that you as a job owner want to be protected from some fails from the keeper side. So, and this protection is built around the cryptoeconomic incentives for keepers. So what does it mean? It means that keepers, they stake tokens as a security deposit for node running, and when they operate the node, they should sign all the jobs according to the execution conditions. For example, one of the execution condition is how many blocks or how many time keeper has after the condition, when condition is met. So it means that, for example, you need to update your health ratio, you need to capitalize your position more to avoid the liquidation. And you understand that this task is quite important, because if there will be liquidation, the user funds will be partly wrecked, right? I mean, not stolen, but just wrecked based on the liquidation in curve. So you need to set up the quite short time after the condition is met. So if health ratio is below a certain point, the PowerAgent should almost immediately, maybe within the 1 minute or 5 or 4 blocks, execute this. I mean, possibly just a theoretical example. So, and if PowerAgent wouldn't execute this in within this time, other keepers can slash the selected keeper, get part of his stake, and also send that transaction for you. So it means that finally all the transactions execution is protected by slashing mechanisms for keepers. So if your transaction wasn't executed on time according to configuration of the job, the keeper will be slashed, and during the slashing event, other keeper will inevitably sign your transaction. So and it means that all keepers, all other keepers are incentivized to slash the failed keeper. Not all of them can slash him. So now there is a round robin key for like a slashing key. So, but anyway, so if the selected keeper didn't execute the job on time, there is other keeper that is strongly incentivized to slash him, get part of his tokens, and at the same time execute your job. So finally, it should provide robustness for job execution. So this is the main mechanism at this moment.
Yeah, I think that we're the only automation network that really has that kind of comprehensive, decentralized skin in the game by keepers.
Yep.
And I guess the other thing you could ask is, well, how do we know we have enough keepers? How many keepers do we have? And the answer is it varies by chain, but the objective is to have close to 100 keepers on mainnet. And how many keepers are actually needed? I would argue that you could probably do it with 5, but it's just better for everyone to have as many keepers as possible.
Yeah, but so the PowerAgent is being tested for more than 6 months, maybe 7-8 months in total, in various networks in Sepolia, in Gnosis, in Ethereum, and in Arbitrum. And I can say that the 5 keepers, I think, is not enough at all. because so there can be different issues with RPCs. Also, so some keepers using decentralized RPCs, some keepers using their own ones. Also, so there are different circumstances in which keepers can go offline or be not active for a while. So I think that 5 keepers is not enough. So I think maybe the 30 or 50 keepers is a good amount, like as a starting point for being sure that there is many keepers that can execute any kind of a job and there are enough slashers for them. For example, at Gnosis chain, you have more than 100 keepers now. On other chains, the number is much less, of course, but so it depends on the incentivization. Because, for example, on Ethereum, the gas costs are quite high, and the cost of setting up keeper is also high because you need to make a stake, you need to register your keeper. It's all costs some Ethereum for you, and so it can be really costly to launch a keeper. I mean, not extremely costly, but it can be like a little barrier to launch a keeper if there is no jobs that provide you stable income in Ethereum. And for example, in Gnosis chain, we have some jobs that are deployed by users. For example, we have some Gnosis validators jobs that claim the rewards, convert these rewards to some stable coins for validators. And it means that Gnosis validators already automated their daily needs by Powerpool. But why they did it? Because the gas costs in Gnosis are extremely low. So it means that you can automate everything you want without caring about the gas at all. So in Ethereum, the automation market is more complex because every transaction costs you real money. So probably you don't want to automate some simple things because you don't want to decrease your APR by all the gas costs that you will need to pay in the future. So this is why we think that possibly, as you said, Arseny, the rollups can be even more interesting for automation right now because it's just much more cheap. And in cheaper networks, there is much easier to engage more keepers because the cost of registering keeper is low, because the amount of jobs that can be deployed by users is much higher, possibly. Yeah, so that's it. So we think that possibly the income from keeper separation can be even higher on Arbitrum than on Ethereum, just because the number of jobs can be much more. And this is why we're focusing more on incentivizing keepers on low fee networks, because it's the approach that we don't need to spend a lot of tokens for incentivizing keepers, but at the same time we can engage a lot of them, build a stable keepers community, the signers set community, and attract more and more jobs there. But of course, if you finally will deploy on Ethereum, I think that we will ensure that at least maybe 20 or 30 keepers are there, because so we have the list of people who want to run a node. We have some other node runners there, but to be sure that, for example, 30 keepers will be satisfied running on Ethereum, we need to provide some token airdrops or some CVP liquidity, like not liquidity mining, but keepers mining, I can say. And we don't see any reason to do that if there is no real significant jobs on Ethereum. Okay, so if you plan to deploy, and we will know the date, so we will make some incentivizing campaign and provide more rewards for keepers and engage more people to run a node. And I think that at least 20, 30 keepers, they will be on Ethereum mainnet for your launch. Because this is like a chicken and egg problem, right? So if you have the network and you have like a lot of keepers, you need to pay them for work, and if there is no jobs or little amount of jobs, you need to incentivize them by tokens. But if there is no a real big interest for launching something, there is no reason to pay from the DAO budget to all these keepers. It's much more reasonable to pay, for example, on Gnosis chain, to pay on Arbitrum, because we have also some real jobs coming on Arbitrum as well. So it's of course the matter of the strategy. So I just want to say that when you will be ready for launch on Ethereum, we will make the keeper engagement campaign maybe 1 week or 2 week in advance and get more keepers on board. And maybe even this Daoism product will bootstrap the Ethereum operation more, because after one successful job that works and somebody uses it, we can use it as a reference and engage more and more builders especially on Ethereum, because as I said before, now it's much easier to engage builders on Gnosis chain, on Arbitrum. We're also discussing some stuff with Scroll, because it's also quite cheap gas network. So yeah.
Okay. Are there any other questions? It is an AMA. I don't know. Have we had any questions coming in from listeners yet? I don't see any on X. Anybody?
But there are some questions in the comments, at least I can see. So I will read them now.
Okay.
Will be the job owners able to assign that job to particular keepers? So yeah, this is a very interesting question. Why I can explore even more, because some time ago I was approached by some community members that were really interested in making this live. Why? Because so for example, you can run a keeper and you can run a job and assign all of these jobs for your keeper. And theoretically, you can use this on some new rollups to automatically interact with a lot of DeFi protocols to farm the airdrops. And this is, of course, the very narrow use case, and this is not the thing that PowerAgent was built for, of course. But this is, I think that if you're building stuff and somebody find a new use case that you even didn't think in advance, it's really good, right? While this use case is not about some bad illegal things, right? Farming airdrops is not illegal at all. So and since the keeper will sign all the transactions, he will theoretically get the airdrop. So yeah, this can be interesting for some people. But I want to say that in this configuration of PowerAgent, it's not possible, and there is also some like little issue for particularly airdrop case that the transactions are coming through the PowerAgent main contract. But some modification can solve this, and we already discussed this internally as a future update. And in the future, it looks like you will be really able to create a keeper and create some job that will be specifically assigned only to your keeper or to several keepers that you run, for example. But at the same time, these keepers will be able to execute any other job and also earn some fees based on these executions. But if you want to farm some airdrops or making some interactions from specific addresses, you can do this. Yeah. So in the future, we plan to incorporate this feature, and I think this is quite a good idea. So yeah, Siren, it's an answer for your question.
Yeah. I mean, the ability to define signer sets. In other words, the ability of the job owner to say, I only want a subset of the keepers to be considered for random allocation. There's lots of other reasons to do that. There could be regulatory reasons why you don't want keepers. We don't want to run a keeper in North Korea, for example. So if there are reasons why people would want to define the signer sets, even relatively small. But as Vasily was saying, the smaller you set your keeper set, the more potential you have for problems with RPCs, with other operational problems, and you end up with not enough keepers to keep themselves all honest and enough slashers and things like that. So having some granular control over the signer set is something I think we'll constantly be developing more and more control. But this case is the case of defining a signer set to be literally one single keeper. And as Vasily said, we didn't anticipate that one. But yeah, these are things that can be accommodated, and this is the strength, if you like, of having a community that encompasses not just developers putting up automation services, but also keepers running the nodes, and it's the back and forth in the community that generate all these kinds of ideas.
Yeah, Gordon, I want to add that at this moment, job owners, they can specify signer sets, but only based on one metric, on the number of tokens staked. So you can define the lowest bound and highest bound of the stake. For example,
Yeah.
minimal 1,000 CVP and maximum like 10,000 CVP, for example. Or if you want to get on board for your job only keepers with high stakes, you can define like the 10K CVP as a minimal stake for your job specifically. So you can do that, but there's no specificity to select particular keeper with particular worker address, unfortunately. Yeah, but it will be incorporated in the future, definitely.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, in theory, you could imagine that some people would, with extensive networks and lots of their own nodes, they would want to be executing their own tasks first, and they would view PowerAgent as a backup, for example.
yeah, then the next question is about the CVP staking. So for the regular users, I mean, not the node operators, but just the ordinary people who don't want to run a node. So yeah, we have some plans to make something like liquid staking, so you can delegate your CVP to some keepers and share the earnings with you, like literally saying like delegated proof of stake. Of course, there is no consensus here, no proof of stake consensus. Is just like a word, just to make it more understandable by the general audience. So yeah,
Yeah,
we
I mean,
plan to do that, but it's not developed yet.
yeah, I mean, we need to have a liquid staking version of CVP because we need to attract outside capital. As the size of the jobs and the size of the protocols gets ever bigger, people are going to want our keepers to have ever larger stakes. And because we want our keepers to be ideally small scale home stakers, there comes a point where we have to attract capital from the outside to beef up the stakes of our own keepers. And we have a plan to do that using liquid staking CVP that gives outside passive investors a share of our treasury earnings. I mean, every execution, there's a charge, the treasury gets some money. The idea is to set that charge and review that charge frequently up and down. But if it becomes the case that the keepers need more capital, they need bigger and bigger CVP stakes than they can afford, we can use the treasury charge and the yield on liquid staking CVP to attract more money into the staking. And reverse, if it's not an issue and nobody's saying we need keepers to have bigger stakes, we need more keepers with bigger stakes, we can change the treasury charge, set it down lower, and just increase the earnings that go straight to the keeper's wallet. So it's one of the key control parameters of the whole system is the use of the liquid staking token and the treasury charge to keep the amount of staking value where it needs to be in the marketplace. And obviously the appreciation of CVP is another variable that we have to manage.
Yeah, but at, at this moment there is no protocol fee enabled, so this can be done in the future using various approaches. Yeah, but at this moment, no.
Yeah,
So
these are levers to manage growth, if you like. They're not problems at the moment, but we have a plan.
yeah, so the next uh, question is about how do Powerpool and Supreme DAO plan to adapt their automated systems and strategies to meet the evolving needs and challenges of the DeFi community. Yeah, so as Powerpool, what we are doing, we are all the time developing and updating PowerAgent to make it suitable for various use cases, as I said before, including some off-chain triggers in the future, including some particular signer sets in the future as well, liquid staking CVP, etc. So we also have some community contributors that help, that contributed with some additional node upgrades and some, other technical stuff that makes node running even more easier and simpler. So this is our part of the work, and also we are doing some templates for community, so you will be able to run simple jobs without any knowledge of Solidity, of course. So just select, for example, limit orders or DCA strategy or like simple liquidation protection strategy. So there will be few of them, and launch it for like just from your wallet and deploy this contract from your wallet. And as I said before, on low fee chains like Gnosis Chain or Arbitrum, maybe Scroll, it will be quite useful because it wouldn't cost a lot. And yeah, so why you need to provide your assets into Aave as a collateral and borrow some funds without any kind of liquidation protection, if you can do this, exactly the same thing with the liquidation protection from PowerAgent. Maybe even this liquidation protection will never be triggered, right? If your health factor is big enough, but at least you will have, this like insurance kind of stuff that if, for example, Ethereum will go down significantly and your health ratio will be close to the liquidation, the PowerAgent will help you, to burn part of your debt and save you from liquidation. So And the same is for the DEX trading, why you need to make everything manually. For example, if you want to buy Ethereum over time and make some average price buying strategy, you can just launch the DCA template and it will be done for you. And as I said before, if it is run on Arbitrum, if it is run on Gnosis, if it is run on Scroll or some other rollups, the cost of running this strategy will be negligible. So you even can make it with maybe $1,000 to $2,000. So we made some calculations during the hackathon in India, in Ethereum Global Hackathon in December 2023, where we build a sample strategy to demonstrate the Powerpool, ability to automate complex stuff. And we made some calculations so we can share the presentation from the hackathon, and you can see the values of gas costs for the entire strategy, and they're really quite low. So even the small investor with like average deposit like 1K or 2K USD can make some Ethereum accumulation over several days without spending too big percentage of the deposit to the gas cost, for example. So yeah, maybe SupremeDAO can add something for the evolving needs and challenges in DeFi community and automated systems.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, because we are more of a user-facing application rather than an infrastructure layer, we have to follow all the recent trends in DeFi, and that's why. And here it's more of a community approach rather than product approach. But within Supreme DAO as a DAO, as a community, we are focusing towards connecting DeFi-minded individuals who are following all the next trends and keep up with all the updates that are happening in DeFi, so that we can implement these new strategies that are going to be part of Supreme DAO. So yeah, if it answers the question.
Yep. So the next questions are about the new plan for marketing campaigns and exposure. So the plan is that we are planning hackathons and events with Gnosis chain together as ecosystem partners. So I already discussed a lot about that. This is the first point. So the second point is that we're trying to do the same with Scroll. So we're discussing the opportunity to be present at hackathons and provide some additional bounty and prizes to developers that hack for Scroll ecosystem, and at the same time using the Powerpool. So this also could provide a lot of exposure of Powerpool to developers. Besides that, we are working on incorporating PowerAgent, simple templates into some educational courses for Solidity developers that are quite well known. So every developer that is, studying Solidity using these educational programs will also study how to make automation using Powerpool, like as a basic stuff for future building of some products. Yeah, this is the basic three things from developer side. I think also the grants, also the some side events that we plan to host during the year as well. Yeah, but our main focus is relying on the ecosystem partners like Gnosis Chain or Scroll or something other ones that we plan to build these partnerships over time, and yeah, we are in discussions with them at this moment.
Yeah, I think the thing to keep in mind is that there's so many L2s now and so many even EVM-based L1s, with the new parallel EVMs and things like that. All of these chains need us as a marketing partner to offer automation. None of these EVM chains or layers have native automation. So in order to be complete, if you like, these chains need to say, yes, and we have automation because we have Powerpool. So it's just a question of their business development guys realizing that, hey, we need to add Powerpool into whatever we're doing at our conferences and our hackathons, because without it, we're just not a complete chain. And again, it's just a message. These things just take an amazing amount of time for the community to absorb even simple messages like, EVM has no automation. Every EVM chain and layer needs an automation partner. Which one are you going to choose? no one's going to choose Chainlink. Chainlink is a big corporate thing. It's bigger than any chain. Someday Chainlink will have its own L1 and its own L2. So we're the logical partner. And it's just a question, again, of getting these messages out so that people understand.
Yep, so I will move to the next questions because the time is quite limited. So the next question is about the due to OKX delisting, could Binance delist CVP? So of course any exchange can delist any asset. So, but I'm not in charge of listing, so I cannot comment this in details. I think that any kind of asset that it's traded on some exchange, you need to demonstrate the community growth, the use cases, the trading attractiveness, all this basic stuff. So the Powerpool expansion should be also aimed on sharing the value of Powerpool to all exchanges Powerpool is listed on. So this is my answer to this. So this is what we are doing. We making the fundamental job, and at the same time we show all the achievements to the exchanges like Binance.
Yeah, I think the other thing about Binance is Binance has a relationship with BNB Chain, and PowerAgent has always said we want to go to BNB Chain. BNB Chain is going to be a big market for us. It's an issue because they have so few validators. It's really difficult to go and launch a 100 keeper automation network on BNB Chain because they have relatively few, only about 30 validators, and these validators are running data centers. So it's going to take a little time, but I think the more noise we make about coming to BNB Chain and facilitating automation in BNB Chain, the more seriously Binance will take us.
Yeah, I think that I need to add about the Binance chain that the keeper doesn't require a validator. The keeper require a full node and stable RPC connection. So it means that there are much more full nodes in BNB chain than validators, of course. And of course, running the BNB chain node is quite costly because the hardware requirements are too big. But what we have in BNB chain, we have decentralized RPC services. So these decentralized RPC services can be used by keepers. So we are testing now the DRPC, the BlockPi, the Gateway FM, and some other DRPC decentralized RPC services for that. So, and I think that there is an opportunity to grow the keepers set on BNB chain bigger than 30, but the majority of them wouldn't be validators in the first place, but they will be just community members that rely on decentralized RPCs or some other services like that, because as you said, it's quite complicated to run their own BNB chain node. But the same applies to Polygon, for example. The Polygon node is also quite big, but we already found some community members that run Polygon nodes. And when we will go to testing Polygon, and hopefully it will happen really soon, we will get some keepers with the full nodes, with reliable RPCs that will work well there. So, but at the same time, this is the market. For example, if there will be 10 keepers and a lot of tasks, these keepers will earn a lot of fees. So it will incentivize some other people. They will see this and this. Okay, so this is something really profitable. So, and if this is something really profitable, why, for example, cannot I run a node and get advantage of this fee stream, for example? Because if you will discuss with all the people who are engaging in testnets, in various testnets, some of testnets they require even archive nodes for indexers, for example, or some testnets for AI applications require GPU rigs or some other hardware, and it's not just a simple Raspberry Pi device at home, and people run them even without any direct token incentivization, just hoping for the future airdrops of this new project. So it means that if the market for keepers will be attractive, I mean the fees from executions plus some CVP token rewards, it can be enough. It can be enough incentives to attract more and more keepers because it's the open market. As you know, anyone can run a node in Powerpool. So if it will be profitable, people will run it. This is what I'm thinking about.
Yeah. But so to circle back to the Binance listing, I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. We're a serious project with a serious roadmap. But obviously, running on BNB chain would be a good thing, but it is much more complicated than other chains.
Yeah, so I will move to the next question. So we still have some time for that. So, how keepers earn? Can we stake CVP? Yes, the main the main requirement for being a keeper besides not running is a CVP staking, and keepers earn from two main sources. Keepers earn from execution fees. So when keeper executes some job, keeper receives some execution fee on top of gas compensation. So it means that, for example, you spend X for gas and you will receive X plus 10% or even more. It depends on your stake as a gas compensation. So the bigger is your stake, the bigger is this, fee on top of gas cost. What does it mean? It means that you earn native asset of the chain like Ethereum and Arbitrum, Ethereum and Optimism, or BNB chain, or Matic in Polygon, or XDAI in Gnosis. So, and this is the first type of income that keepers receive at this moment. So you can go to the Powerpool.finance to the app section and find the, for example, Gnosis chain or Arbitrum, and see the earnings of keepers in real time, how much Ethereum or XDAI they earned so far. And the second stream, income stream, is the CVP tokens that are airdropped from the ecosystem fund. So we're providing some incentives in CVP tokens. I mean, the liquid CVP tokens on the Ethereum chain that you can sell in IMM, in Uniswap, for example, or deposit to Binance and other exchanges. So they're pretty liquid. This is the second income stream for incentivizing keepers to, to run more nodes and be active in the community. So yes, you can stake CVP, you can run a node, you can earn today. Just do it. So if you need some assistance, please DM me, for example. I will provide you all the access, or you can go to the website and fill the form, or even I can even create a new form and share it specifically for this IMA to get all people from the IMA who want to run a node on board really fast and help with all the technical stuff. But we have all the instructions which are battle tested by a lot of keepers that already launched a node, so it's pretty easy to launch a node. And also we are partnered with Dep node, so if you run Dep node, you can also run Powerpool node from the Dep node Dep store, and it's also pretty easy to do. So what about the Blast chain? Can PowerAgent work on Blast? Yes, we can work on Blast. So but as I know so far now, there is no opportunity to deploy anything on Blast. If I'm wrong, please correct me, because I'm not, tracking the Blast all the time. But yeah, so if maybe you have some connections with the Blast team, or some support that you can provide to us, to make this connection and get involved for the early launch there. So from the technical point of view, we need only the verifiable random function, which is being developed right now. So we aim to deliver it soon, and when we will deliver it, we can launch on any chain which is EVM compatible. So it's quite easy. The next question is, do you need more keepers? Yes, we constantly need more keepers, especially on our Arbitrum chain, especially on Gnosis chain, on Ethereum also. But as I said before, we are not focused on providing a lot of incentives on Ethereum because it's too costly chain for keepers and for jobs at the same time. So the next question is about, can we delegate CVP to node runners? At this moment, no, but in the future, hopefully this feature will be released when mainnet. So it depends on what you consider like mainnet. So Powerpool works in Ethereum, in Arbitrum mainnet, in Gnosis chain mainnet, but all the tokens are test tokens right now, because we are testing the stuff and don't want to provide some losses to the community members who run a node, and they get some slashes, not because of their malicious behavior or the problems with their PC, but due to some software problems that we provide. So this is why we are still running on test tokens, but we plan to change this pretty soon and provide node runner grants to all active keepers and provide real stakes. But this will be the game for real stakes. It means that if you get slashed, you get slashed with real tokens, you lost real money. If your keeper slash someone else, you get some, tokens that you penalize from other keeper, you get some additional income from operation of keeper that is more stable than other one. So yeah, this game of stakes will be launched soon. So yeah, I think these are all questions about the mainnet, the similar ones. So maybe some other people have some other questions for me or for Gordon.
So it's huge partnerships. The partnership for us, I think, will always be the L1s and L2s, and there's no shortage. There's ever more of them. It's just a question of which ones, want to highlight automation capabilities to distinguish themselves from the others. Other than that, I mean, what we want are the independent developers, people like Daoism, who build the automation templates and services that run on Powerpool. But in terms of marketing and product development, all of these L1s and L2s have to market themselves, and we are just part of that process.
Yep. Before we close the space, which will happen in a couple of minutes, I want to also make some little announcement regarding the ambassador program. So we already almost finished the ambassador program for Powerpool ambassadors. It means that if you're active community member, if you have your Twitter, if you have some access to local communities in different countries, and you want to engage more in Powerpool brand awareness, to help Powerpool get more audience, maybe attract some developers, maybe attract some projects that want to get some grants and want to build on top of Powerpool. So you can be an ambassador, receive some CVP tokens as a rewards for that, as a grant, personal grant for being an ambassador. So yeah, you can possibly at this moment of time approach me in DMs, and yeah, in the nearest future we will make some special announcement with the Google form with all the fields that you need to complete regarding your experience, your interests and capabilities, etc. The region, or if you are not in some kind of region, but you have some online resource like Twitter or some other influencing accounts, so yeah, you can just use them, for example. So yeah, the ambassador program is one of the next steps for brand awareness that we also plan to use. And if you think that you are interested to participate in that, so please GM me at this early time, so it will be much easier to get there than when we will make it the general form for the wider public.
Okay, well, we're out of time. If you have other questions, you can just go ahead and post them on X, and we'll try to answer them on X. And thank you very much, everyone, for attending and for listening. And hopefully you'll come back for the next one. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye. Thank you for the space.